Good morning, Facebook family and friends and YouTube subscribers. Today is Sunday. It is December the 14th of 2014. So all this hoopla and protesting and marching and black folks marching and walking in the Nordstrom store and laying on the floor, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on in regards to Eric Garner's death and Eric Garner and Michael Brown out of Ferguson, the whole incident in Ferguson involving Officer Darren Wilson, his two black men shot and killed. So a lot of people are now out wanting to have meetings and protests and all this good stuff. And guys, I think it's great that people want to get involved. I'm not sure I agree with how they want to get involved, but this is my problem with African Americans. Because like I said, I've gotten involved in certain things in the past. African Americans walk around like this. They walk around with their ears closed and their eyes closed. They don't want to hear nothing. Their ears are closed, their eyes are closed, and that mouth is running all the way up and down I-75. They don't want to hear nothing you got to say. They've already figured it out. And that's my problem with African Americans. We're not willing to sit down and listen. But we really use this to take us nowhere. We can talk about, it's just fine. I find it very odd that sometimes when I go to these community meetings, we can talk about the problems all day and night long, but we never ever come up with solutions, or even the possibility of solutions, or the direction of where the solutions are, or we can't even collectively begin the process of putting our minds together to say, we see the problem, now let's try to fix it. Nope, because we're too busy like this. Our ears are closed, our eyes are closed, and that mouth is running. And it's aggravating to me. So every time I go to these events, I've been kicked out these events, and I'll be very honest with you. Some people look at me and they literally have thrown me out because I'm trying to say this is the wrong direction. We've got to start figuring out solutions. What's the purpose of sitting here talking about structural, racial, what is the term they use? Structural and institutionalized racism. We can discuss that forever. We can sit and talk about structural, institutionalized racism, white folks and racism, and for the rest of our lives. But what will we accomplish? What will we accomplish sitting in this meeting? All these people, all we talking about is the horrible injustice of structural, institutionalized racism. At some point, like, you got all these people sitting here. Like, you got all these folks sitting here drinking coffee, eating up your food at this meeting you didn't call. And some folks, like, you got sitting here. We have to be in the process of how do we move forward? Living in a world that people say is controlled by structural, institutionalized racism. This is what the last meeting I went to, I got kicked out. And I cut up off and stuff. I said, you know what? You have Asians, Africans, Hispanics, Chinese. You have people from all over the world meeting and show up with nothing. But you never hear them screaming about institutionalized structural racism keeping them from achieving something. You never. They come from everywhere. We're the only ones still stuck under the cloud of racism. And that might be a choice of our own. Yes, racism exists. We all know that. It does exist. Homophobia exists. I'm a black gay man. I live my life. I'm not going to let homophobia stop me from doing a goddamn thing. Do you understand me? I live my life happily. So why should I let racism, or structural, institutionalized racism, keep me from doing whatever I want to do? But people, we too busy like this. It's mind-boggling to me how we refuse to really try to come up with some solutions to take us forward instead of hashing over all these old issues. Am I asking us to forget about what took place in the past between African Americans and white Americans here in America? The problems that we had? No, I'm not saying forget it. We know it existed. We know those issues still exist. But at some point, somehow, some way, we've got to pick ourselves up off the floor instead of laying in Nordstrom's department store in the shoe department protesting. We've got to become more proactive in our communities and take control of our communities. That's all I'm saying. This cannot be that complicated. But if we do not become actively involved in politics. Some people, we've been voting forever. Voting ain't doing this. We've been voting forever now. Voting only been around for black folks for 40-something odd years now. Well, I'm 44, so I think the Voting Rights Act was passed in the late 60s or the early 60s or something like that. I have to do my little research. So that would give us about maybe 50-something years, maybe. And I've seen a lot of positive stuff come out of voting myself. I don't know about the rest of you all, but I've seen some great things come out of African Americans being involved in the political process and voting. Now we've got to get more involved. We need to start lobbying. We come up with PACs and political organizations. But every time you bring this subject up to people, they shut it down. They don't want to hear it. Black people don't want to hear. All they want to hear about is when the next protest, when we go march, structural, institutionalized racism. We know, okay, how do we move forward? We need a political organization. We need to put things in place to lobby for African Americans, for issues in our community that affect us. We need to make sure that the politicians that we are voting for clearly understand our issues. We need to start taking a page from the gay rights activists. Gay marriage has been passed in many states. I have yet seen a gay rights activist laying in Nordstrom's on the floor protesting. No, they didn't go that route. Gay rights, they got money together. They lobbied. They went out to judges and politicians who shared the same thoughts that they had. You have to remember, gay marriage was nowhere near to be found 20, 30 years ago. Here it is now almost legal and will be legal in every state in the United States. That took a lot of hard work in the background, not marching up and down Peachtree Street, unfortunately, in below zero weather, not all out in Times Square yelling and screaming at police officers. That's not how you get anything done. But once I tell this to black folks, and I say this to these community organizers, they back to this. Blah, 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 blah. They don't want to hear nothing. Their ears are closed, their eyes are closed, and their mouth goes back to running. So you can't show them a different way. You can't show them the right way because they don't want to hear it, and they damn sure don't want to see it. So I'm done with this. I wish those folks good luck. And I want to be involved in this stuff, but I don't want to be involved in something that's just going to run into a dead end and disappear, because that's what's going to happen. People are going to run out of energy. Sometimes you get tired they're going to get tired of marching up and down Peachtree Street and running through Times Square and see nothing get accomplished because they're not going about it the right way. Anyway, I'm done. If you like my videos, please click like. Is it just me? I mean, yeah, I hope that I'm a proud African American man, but black folks have got to open their minds up and think. We've got to open our minds and begin doing things differently, because the path that we've been going down is outdated and it is not working. You're screaming no justice, no peace, but you're not going about the right way of creating justice and peace. I don't get it. Again, rant done. It's not really a rant, it's just my opinion. If you like my videos, please click like, share them with family, members, and friends. And I look forward to reading your comments and feedback on today's subject matter. Bye.